In my defense, I was left on two.
Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of the Ragsdale Rumble, part one of the College Bowl picks. As we get some critique on Herb's shirt from Raj there, classic Herb and Raj beginning there, talking about the shirt. If you haven't seen Tuesday, go back and watch because we had kind of the same beginning on the podcast Tuesday. But we will jump in. We are doing College Bowl picks. Just for clarification, just because this airs, and we know some bowl picks have already been made, or no bowl games have already been played. Those picks are done. A lot of the games were just through via text with us. I have got the official picks from everybody. We are going to hold records until later just to keep the suspense going. The picks for the 23rd and from the 23rd to now, you can actually look forward to on the YouTube channel, Herb and Raj, to get singular videos from each of the competitors with their picks on those games on the 23rd and the 26th, leading up to the 27th, which is where we will start today. So just for clarification, these picks are the 27th through the 29th. It's about 12 bowl games there. We will go through each one of them just as we always do. Roger will still pick first since that's where we started or ended at the end of the season. And we will go through each bowl individually, picking winners and losers just like we always have. So without further ado, I'm sorry. I'm in such a hurry. I forgot. How are you guys doing? Raj, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Busy week leading up to Christmas. Looking forward to seeing Santa.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastically.
Oh my God, we almost had to cancel the whole thing.
Oh my gosh,
it's been a minute.
That's how the week's going. And it has been a minute.
I was just Raj. Genuinely, I was worried about you.
I'm sorry. Thank you for checking me, Herb.
I'll put that on me because I didn't go right into the intros like I normally do. I got him off. That's my problem. I'm the one that got him off this game there, so I'll take the blame for that. But as you heard, Herb, how are you doing tonight?
I'm a little better now. There's a little scare, but I'm good. I feel okay.
All right, so everybody's doing good, so we will jump right into it. Starting off first with the Military Bowl, you have Virginia Tech versus Tulane. Again, just like we had on Rivalry Week, we won't be talking lines or anything, so just outright winners. But we do have Virginia Tech versus Tulane in the Military Bowl. Raj, who do you think will win and why?
All right, just looking off record, this record, most people might just lean towards Tulane. Obviously, they're 11-2, Virginia Tech being 6-6. But I'm going to take it back to the days, back to the early 2000s.
Back in the day, I was a kid. I'm not a kid
anymore. For the love of that I had for Michael Vick. I even have the white Michael Vick Virginia Tech jersey hanging up in my closet.
Wow.
I used to love Michael Vick like a lot of us did. And just throw this in there, Virginia Tech just put up 55 on Virginia last week. I don't know if that says a lot. With that being said, and with
you said last week, that was like a month ago, but that's
with all the positive stuff I'm saying about Virginia Tech, I'm going to go with Virginia Tech to beat Tulane in the Military Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Herb, do you agree?
The line just says a lot in this one. The fact that they're the lower record team, but they're favored by like 10.
Yeah.
And Tulane did not end the season on the high note. So I'm going to take Virginia Tech as well. Roger, you just taking Virginia Tech because you can't name any former players from Tulane? Is that what you're saying?
I really can't name any former players from Tulane. Can you? I don't know.
I bet you Mike has one. Mike usually
was Randy Moss not from Tulane?
Marshall.
Marshall.
That was Marshall. That's right. So they're both green. It's fine. It's close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll give you a half point, Mike, because you were better than the rest of us.
I at least tried. All right. Moving on to the Duke's Mayo Bowl, famously for the celebration of the winning coach pouring mayonnaise all over him. I'm not sure how you do it. That should be the losing punishment, I would think, if it were me. But we do have North Carolina taking on West Virginia, fairly close together. West Virginia with a good season, North Carolina as well. I don't think North Carolina's quarterback is playing, but with that being said, Raj, you have a why?
For sure.
That was the first question I was going to ask. Have we heard any confirmation on Drake May? Is he out? Is he in? I'm pretty sure he's going to declare for the draft if he already hasn't.
I would assume, given our discussion on Tuesday, that if it's a decent quarterback, they are probably opting out of the game.
And just to be fair, Drake May's not playing. Tez Walker, the guy who fought like all year, I guess, to play, he's not playing. Their center's not playing. A linebacker's not playing. All
right. So, I'm going with West Virginia. The line's already West Virginia by 6.5. If Drake May had been playing, minus the other guys, I think if Drake May had been there, they would have had a good shot. But I'm going to go with West Virginia in this game.
Yeah.
Well, if Drake May was playing, that line wouldn't be 6.5.
Right.
That's probably indicative of him not playing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going with West Virginia. And I think, was it Mac Brown? The latest article I just saw was him still mad at the NC State coach at some stuff he said at the end of that game. So, like,
Get over it.
is
Get over
anybody focused on this game at all?
Yeah.
No.
Move
I'm
on.
going West Virginia.
All right, everybody going with West Virginia with that. We will move to the Holiday Bowl with Louisville taking on USC. Louisville with a really bad showing in that ACC championship game against Florida State, going off against a lot easier defense than USC, obviously. So who knows what's going to happen in that game? Raj, who do you have and why?
I'm going to go with Louisville. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to play. Again, I don't have any confirmation of that, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to be in there. USC's defense has looked suspect pretty much all year. I'm gonna go with Louisville. I think their offense will kind of get him over the hump.
Yeah. Who's even quarterbacking then for USC?
I was just about to say it will be
guys
interesting to see who the next man up is, but I couldn't tell you.
Well, because Nelson is transferring also as a quarterback for USC.
Yeah.
Malachi Nelson. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I agree.
I am also transferring from USC, so I will not be quarterbacking the game either. So,
well, then they have no shot. Whatever.
Yeah, if it was Big Mike, I mean, if it was Santa Mike, yeah, but
Santa might have a chance.
Yeah. We're
going he will not have his ankle though for that game.
No, that's right.
Key.
That is key.
He gave that to Tyreek Hill. I'm taking Louisville too. The showing has to be better than what we saw in the ACC title game. How do you feel if you're Louisville? You play a terrible game, you cost Florida State a chance at the playoff. If you played a great game and beat them, you cost Florida State a chance at the game. Basically, you had to play a really great game and then still somehow lose big for the only way Florida State would have gone to the playoff.
Yeah.
So, way to go, Louisville. Go redeem yourself, though, against USC.
Yes, sir. Moving on to the Tax Act Texas Bowl, featuring a Texas team, Texas A&M, or at least the formerly known as Texas A&M, with whoever they've still got on their team, playing against the team Oklahoma State, who honestly I don't know that they get rid of a lot of people. They tend to hold on to everybody. But Raj, who do you have and why?
Well, Mike, I think you kind of answered the question there for me. I mean, I don't know who's still going to be on Texas A&M's roster. A lot of the guys are in the transfer portal if they already haven't transferred now. I told Herb earlier I was still hoping that we can kind of get Walter Nolan. But last I heard, I think he was leaning towards Ole Miss. So I don't.
What are you recruiting in the middle of the?
Hey, if Walter Nolan watches this, then that'll be perfect. But yeah, I heard he was leaning towards Ole Miss.
Tackle from there.
Yeah, we did get as an LT Overton, I believe. We got him, so that's a huge pickup for us.
That always messes me up because he's like a defensive player with the name LT. So every time I see him, I go, "We picked up a tackle."
I thought that too. I was like, "Oh wow, we picked up another offensive lineman." That's great.
A defensive left tackle. Yeah,
that's what I keep thinking. Yeah, so I don't know.
But if his nickname is LT, then he'll do wonders at Bama. So anyway, with that being said, I think Oklahoma State's still mad at the butt whooping they took in the Big 12 championship on the hands of Texas. So I'm going to go with
the Big 12 championship?
They were there. They showed up. They did not play well.
Okay.
There were people in their jerseys. They may have let fans come in and
play.
So
they were invited.
I'm just going from a roster perspective. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. I think they're going to have enough firepower to kind of beat Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Herb, your thoughts?
It's weird to me, even on small lines, that Texas A&M is favored because, like, I agree. I don't know who's playing, but having said that, this is a great time for a.
Oh, here we go.
Here
we go.
The little shimmy, the little shake. Do we have it?
Anti-Raj pick.
He is never
no logic. No great. Yeah. Hey, those are the moves that got me married.
Well, if they don't have logic, do they have Eminem?
I don't know. Herb, Lord.
Oh, sorry. I said Texas A&M.
Oh,
gosh. You did, which means you probably won't be dancing like that during the game. But
and I'll be watching this game going, who are these people?
Right.
Well, you should have a lot because it's at 9 p.m. on ESPN on the 27th. So I don't know anything.
I will still be watching.
I might. I'll probably tune into that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next up, we obviously with that being an 11 o'clock game, we will roll into December 28th, also on ESPN, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, which I'm going to guess is being played in Fenway Stadium at Boston. You have Boston College with the obvious home field advantage against SMU, who travels all the way from warm Texas to what will probably be in a snow game in Fenway Park. Raj, who do you think and why?
I don't know, man. You're kind of swaying my opinion. You brought up some good points at Boston College at home and the weather. Even though SMU is favored by 11,
you just wanted to work it smooth there for me.
I did.
That's all you did. That's all.
I'm gonna stay with Smooth. I don't think they cover in this game. You got the weather elements up there and everything, but I'm gonna stick with Smooth to beat Boston College.
Yeah, I think so too. Boston College, I didn't even realize was bowl eligible. This was
all you have to do is win 6 games to become bowl eligible, Herb.
Well, some teams actually only won 5 games, so don't make me elbow you in the
There are some exceptions.
Sure.
Yes.
There are exceptions.
Herb didn't know that though. Anyway, better.
I'm taking Smooth also just because I
Smooth?
like to say smooth.
Okay.
I think they was smoosh Boston College.
All right,
was
moving right along.
So horrible. Oh my gosh. No, Mike, you can't let that go. That was so bad.
Look, I'm just trying to forget about it. That's why we're trying to move on.
We've been doing this show for like a year or something now. That was probably the worst.
Oh, I've
Don't
said
ever
worse.
say that again. Don't ever say that again.
Let's not bring up some of the other things he said that are definitely worse.
That was out of all the jokes, that was like 15th banana.
Raj, if you don't like my jokes, you just need to shake it off. Shake it off.
They see, this is your fault, Raj. We didn't even get 11 minutes into a video, and you've already got him referencing Taylor Swift.
Oh, no.
That's
It's
you
been a
know,
long
guys.
week.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
You're right. You are the problem. That's 100% in agreement. There is no bad blood between us because I agree wholeheartedly.
Oh, Mike, don't stop this.
No, you started it. No, don't look at me. You started this. It's not your fault. Just because I joined in, I'm
only mad now because I don't know a lot of Taylor Swift references to jump in.
I don't. And I think for our next video, I will have to look some up just so I can find the conversation.
Me too.
Still left out. But with that being said, we will move on to probably.
So weird.
I don't know if Puff Daddy has lawnmowers, but this is the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
I never heard of that.
Yeah.
When Puffy started doing lawnmowers, but apparently he has. Rutgers is, which again, another team I didn't realize was bowl eligible in Rutgers, is facing Miami, Florida, not Miami, Ohio. We talked about them a couple weeks ago, but they will play the U of Miami, Florida. Raj, who do you have in mind?
I'm just gonna go with Miami. I don't know their favorite, but I'm sorry.
I said I will give you a bonus point if you can name one Rutgers player.
I don't know that I can name one Miami player anymore.
That's a good point.
DeLon Jackson.
That sounds like a football player on some team, but I don't know.
Okay. I can't name a Rutgers player. I'm gonna lie.
I'm
gonna take Miami. I'm gonna take Miami. I mean, they're only favored by a point, but I'm just gonna take Miami. I really don't want to dive too much into this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
How far has Miami fallen? They're only favored.
I know they had a good start to the season. Then who was it that one game they played this year where they
was
just
it
had
Georgia Tech?
I think it was Georgia Tech where they had that huge. Oh my gosh, that
and honestly,
they could have ran the clock out literally, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So things went downhill from there.
That player was like, "Look what you made me do."
Right.
Look what you made me do.
Herb, who's going to win the game? Herb,
Mike, please end this.
who's going to win?
I'm thinking Rutgers.
All right. Is there any particular reason, or just because you want to be?
Don't ask him. Don't ask
I
him
just
too
feel
much.
like Rutgers was actually playing better through this season goes. Like I think they kind of went underrated as far as.
Hold up. You can't tell me you have watched a single down of Rutgers football.
I haven't watched a single down of
about
most Big Ten teams, but I know like watching scores, the effort was there better from Rutgers. Whereas Miami seemed like they started here and fell off a cliff. Rutgers was, not a great team, but I feel like the effort was consistent across the board.
Okay.
Plus, if you're going to have a team that's going to have opt-outs, it's going to be from Miami, not Rutgers. So
that's true.
Yes. And I think the line reflects that nobody really knows what's going on with this game. It's like one.
Just like whatever.
So, So I feel like Rutgers will be more excited to be in this bowl game than Miami will.
Now, that is probably the one analysis that I would probably get behind with the most is they probably got more motivation playing Miami than Miami does playing Rutgers. So that is a good justification of why you were picking them. So we will end on that analysis on that game and move right along.
All right.
All right, moving up next to, again, another bowl game that's trying to get kind of a weird victory celebration, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which I don't know if you've heard this, but actually will have an edible mascot made out of a Pop-Tart, and the winning team will get to take bites out of the mascot at the end of the game. I didn't make that up. I'm not that smart. I can't come up with something like that. That's the actual winning team celebration is you get to eat.
I'm down with that.
Mascot. I don't know that you could do that with anything else, but vying for the privilege to eat the Pop-Tart is North Carolina State and Kansas State. Raj, who do you have and why?
This is an interesting one. I only watched a few Kansas State games this year, and the offense didn't look that exciting to me. And of course, we know about North Carolina State, and they have a pretty good defense. Offense is somewhat suspect. I'm going to go with Kansas State to cover in this one. I think they do get the job done, and I think they're going to be able to put up a few more points than North Carolina State. But I still think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah. So, like, I knew this game was trouble when it walked in, but I'm still gonna look at this. And NC State is a team that burned me early, and then after I complained about them, they won all the games that I picked them on. So I'm going with NC State in this game with a better defense. I think they'll be motivated to play well here. And despite opt-outs, I think defense will still travel. I think NC State pulls out a close one.
So you're going back and you're putting faith into someone that already burned you?
No, they burned me in the very first game. And then after I complained about them, every time I picked them, they won.
Yeah, he did pick them later in the year, and they won for him in a couple of late games.
Okay.
Including I picked them against that North Carolina game to end the year, and they won that. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did they win that, or did North Carolina lose it? I hate it when people ask me that type of question.
Well, ask any Georgia fan, they're like, did you win or did Georgia just lose it? I don't know. We're going to the playoffs, so you can. You
can figure that out.
Phrase it however you want to.
Yeah.
I don't know, Bob. Who scored more points?
Yeah.
So
it's basically it.
I will take it. If this is going to be the luckiest Alabama team ever, if that's what y'all want to say, that's fine. We win the whole thing. I'll be still doing my moves.
Wait, next so game. You're gonna do
next game, Mike. Next game. Don't entertain him. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Moving right along. We did talk about this game a little bit. We did get again. Go check out the podcast on Tuesday where Air Raid Mike actually gave some insight on this game. It is the Valero Alamo Bowl, so essentially a home game for Oklahoma against Arizona. We won't go into a whole lot since we did talk about it on Tuesday. But Raj, who do you have and why?
I'm going to go with OU. I'm interested to see, and I'm good again. Going on piggybacking off what you said, Air Raid Mike did say that Jackson Arnold was the next guy, and I'm assuming he's going to start in this game. So I'm interested to see what he can do, especially with them coming to the SEC next year and us having to play in Norman. I would like to see who the next guy is that we're going to have to face next year. But I think I'm going to go with Oklahoma. And special shout out to Arizona. I mean, they ended up with a pretty good season. I did not think they were going to end up with a 9 wins, possibly 10 win season, but good for them. But in this specific game, I'm going to go ahead and ride with OU.
Yeah. And Arizona's actually favored in this game to kind of tell you, plus with a couple Oklahoma opt-outs. But guys, I got to tell you, I got a blank space, and I'm going to write Oklahoma's name. I'm picking Oklahoma to win.
I'm actually interested now to see how many other ones he can come up with.
I might be done.
Wait, is that a Taylor Swift reference?
Yeah, I've got a blank space, baby. And I'll write your name.
No, whoa.
I don't
let's let her sing the song.
Yeah, you're gonna ruin it. I don't listen to her music, so I have no idea.
Well, are you serious?
Yes, I don't.
Look, we have already had this discussion that the Raj household is in the Beehive, so that he can't have both. So we've had multiple discussions.
Loyal member of the Beehive, so
right.
Yeah,
so that's what you said. You don't want any bad blood
by default.
Yeah,
he did say that.
Yep.
Another one. Moving on to the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. You've got Clemson taking on Kentucky. Teams that are kind of going the opposite directions. Clemson, after the famous Spartanburg call, has really been on a tear. Kentucky started out strong, kind of flittered off at the end there. But they do play each other in the Gator Bowl. Raj, who do you have and why?
Just remember a few years ago when Clemson was always in national title contention pretty much every single year, and now they're playing in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Man, how the mighty have fallen.
And I guess I'll have to look it up. We were talking about what the winning team gets to do. I wonder if the winning team gets to wrestle an alligator in this one. I'll have to look that up just for future reference.
That would be something for the losing team, wouldn't I? Would not pass on that one. I'm going to go with the Clemson in this game. They're favored by 4.5. I'm going to go with Clemson to cover this game. If the Clemson, you know what? That's the new one for them. The Clemson. I'm going to go with the Clemson to finish.
Wow. It sounds like something you have to go to the special clinic for. I don't know that I want the Clemson.
Yeah, I got the Clemson. I feel horrible. I'm going to go with the Clemson to cover in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Clemson.
Do you also have the Clemson?
I have the Clemson. Yeah.
Okay.
I take ointment for it every day, though.
Look, I'm sure you can go to Kentucky and get some of that bourbon poured down, and I'm sure it'll get rid of the Clemson.
Actually, if
my
you mix the Clemson, the ointment, and the Kentucky bourbon together, yeah,
Exactly.
you
This is
could
so
then
weird.
you could pull the gator.
Look, that's what everybody's grandmother used to get rid of the Clemson. It's one of those old remedies.
just put some Robitussin on it.
Next up, we have the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl with Notre Dame going up against.
This is getting
Like,
ridiculous.
It sounds
This
funny
off,
when you
right?
say it sounds funny when you say Tony the Tiger because you sound so excited, but it just sounds funny. Like who names this stuff? The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Look,
Like this
we
is-
all grew up watching Tony the Tiger going, they're great. And who
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
going to play
true.
for that?
That's true. That's true. But these two teams right here are not great.
No, because if they're great, they're in the Sugar Bowl or the Rose Bowl. No, I'm
Right.
just saying.
Right.
With that being said, we do have Notre Dame and Oregon State, two teams who were pretty good. They were right there on the periphery of the playoff contention, but
On the
they
cusp
did not
of
quite
greatness.
make it. The cusp of greatness. They do get to play in the Tony Tiger Sun Bowl. Raj, who do you have and why?
Question is DJU. I know he's transferring.
He gone.
He's gone. Okay.
You know,
He gone.
Where's he going to? Do we know?
we don't know.
He's still floating.
He
Okay.
should go to Hawaii with a name like DJ Ukulele.
Yeah.
He should be the Hawaii quarterback.
And we know Riley Leonard's going to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Since
Hartman
I don't
is
know
not
who,
playing.
since I don't know if DJU is playing or not, which he's probably not, obviously, since he's gone, I'm going to go with Notre Dame in this game to cover. I think
Now they don't have their quarterback either, though. Hartman's not playing.
I
But
forgot about
but-
him. I'm thinking. I'm sorry.
Tyler Buckner is going back to Notre Dame. Maybe
To
he
play
can
lacrosse.
play.
Yeah, he's playing lacrosse though.
He's playing
But
lacrosse.
he also said he is going to try some football there, so he may play
Try
intermediate
some
flag
football. We saw him try some football.
I'm gonna.
That would make
I'm
me
gonna
pick Oregon.
stick.
Look,
It sounds like a bunch of unknown right now, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna stick with my first pick, which is Notre Dame to cover in
Yeah.
this game. I honestly don't know if they will cover or if they'll win, but that was my first pick, so I'm gonna roll with that.
This is one of those games that if everybody was playing, it seems like it'd be pretty boring. And now that nobody's playing,
Yeah,
like
it's like-
this is nap time in the afternoon. I'm taking Notre Dame in a snoozer.
Yeah, and this is going to be a norm every year, pretty much. I mean, once the transfer portal opens up, I mean, teams are going to look a lot different during bowl games.
So should they start? And quick question, quick yes or no, because I know we're already over 20 minutes. Do you think it would help if they started giving monetary incentives to win the bowl games? Do you think kids would stay more for that incentive? Since everything else seems to be about money.
I think some
little
of them
bit.
would, yeah,
But-
because like I mean, some of the guys that are already receiving heavy NIL money, it won't matter to them. But for some of the other guys, they'll be like, "Yeah, I'll go ahead and play." So,
Right.
and
But
if
I
it's
think-
not a monetary incentive, maybe some other form of incentive to kind of keep the guys around.
I think money because they already get gift bags and all that stuff for the
Yeah,
better ones
yeah.
that they go to. So I think the problem with the money is it's like I can make, I don't know, a couple thousand playing in this game, or if I get in the transfer portal and somebody makes me a good enough
Yeah.
offer, I'll dwarf that anyway. And I think that's their problem. Their real problem with the bowl games is the early transfer window
Yeah.
combined with the early signing period.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys are transferring the first moment they get to try and get to their next team. That's
And
what's
then
really
some of
screwing
them might be first round draft picks too. If I'm a first round draft pick, am I going to play in the Liberty Bowl? Probably not. I'm going to
Right.
go ahead and sit this one out and just take it easy. So.
Right. But you think about if your first round draft was like 32 guys opting out versus
Yeah.
like 1,500 guys not
Yeah.
playing because half of them are gone. So that's the problem.
Exactly. All right. Well, moving on to as Raj mentioned the Liberty Bowl, and I heard you mention the goodie bags they get. This one is sponsored by AutoZone, so I have not heard confirmation whether all the students will receive a carburetor in their goodie bag from AutoZone.
Couple
Maybe
brake pads.
some brake pads, some brake fluid,
Some
things like
formats.
that. So we will try to check on that for our next video to see what kind of swag. Maybe they'll just get car mats. So those are always really handy. They were out pretty good. But
Mike just straight up stole Roger's joke and used it.
I guess with this one,
You don't care and you're gonna pick.
I honestly don't care. But since Brock Purdy's having a good season and he went to Iowa State, I'm gonna lean towards Iowa State. Don't do that, Herb. Don't you do that to me. I'm gonna go with Iowa State in this one. And I think they do cover.
Oh my god.
Iowa State's favored by 10, so I'm gonna.
So
lean with
Herb,
Iowa
does
State.
that mean you're also gonna? Are you gonna pick Memphis
Oh,
because they have
definitely.
the better
Like
college
I think
basketball
Penny
team?
Hardaway is doing a good job coaching Memphis
Exactly.
this year.
I knew
but
it.
I think that's where you're going.
I don't
I
think
knew it.
I don't think it's going to be good enough. And they got what's the guy? They
So
got JQ
predictable.
from us too, and he's
They
out
got
there
Javon
and
Quinerly,
having
yeah.
a decent season as well.
He's
So,
averaging, I think, 12 or 13 a game. So
Yep,
good for
yep.
him. I wish he stayed at Bama because
Michael Jordan never went to Memphis, so I'm going with Iowa State.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
Iowa State for everybody.
Unfortunately, that is accurate, but whatever.
I think that would also fit 131 other colleges as well, because I think Michael Jordan, before the transfer portal era, obviously, who knows what would happen with that kid if the transfer portal was around. But other than North Carolina, which I don't think, let me look back. No, you also didn't pick North Carolina, so that line doesn't help either, because Michael Jordan did go to North Carolina and you picked against him. So I don't like your logic in this game, but we'll see how it works out for you.
Oh, that's the part where my logic falls apart.
His logic fell apart like once we started recording.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And keeping with the theme, the last bowl we will talk about more car parts. You got your car mats and your carburetors. You also get some tires from the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Missouri and Ohio State. You're not sure who's playing quarterback for Ohio State. We know it is not going to be
McCord.
McCord. Yep, sorry, his name went out. Left me just as
Colonel,
fast as he left the team.
McCord.
Well, I did, but he decided to transfer out of my head, so I couldn't get his name. But you do have Missouri versus Ohio State. Raj, who do you have and why?
SEC. I'm going with Missouri in this one, not to mention the fact that Drew Lock just threw the game-winning touchdown pass on Monday Night Football. Obviously, he went to Missouri as well.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. He went to Missouri. I'm leaning with Missouri in this one, and they got one of the better running backs in the nation. I believe his last name is Schrader. I want to say he was a walk-on or a transfer, but he's having a phenomenal season as well. I think Missouri's going to run all over Iowa State. I don't think they're good. I'm sorry, they are going to cover because they're only favored by a point. So, I'm going to go with Missouri in this one. And Harrison Jr. I don't know if he's declared, but I don't see why he would play in this game. I don't think he has much more to prove to anybody. But, of course, that'll be his choice at the end of the day. But I'm going to go with Missouri to beat Ohio State.
So what you're saying is you think they're going to win because it just means more?
Yeah, I think so.
Herb,
Missouri would love to cap off their season with 11 wins, and you beat Ohio State and beat another top 10 team. So that'll be a phenomenal season for them.
Yep.
Herb,
I
you agree?
I'm taking to Mizzou for the same reason. So I think they win this one too. I think they're probably a little bit more motivated. Ohio State seems like they're definitely already looking at next year.
They're thinking about next year, and they just want to see who McCord's backup's going to be or who the next starter is for next year. But they got some things to figure out.
Yep.
All right, there you have it. All the bowl games for December 27th through the 29th. About 12 games. Be sure to stay tuned for YouTube Shorts for the picks for the previous games from both competitors. Hopefully you guys have a great week of football. We will be back with New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and playoff picks sometime before the 30th, with probably sometime next week, obviously. But for Big Mike, Herb, and Raj, we appreciate you guys. And as we said, if you missed the show on Tuesday, Merry Christmas to everybody. We hope everybody has a great holiday. And as always,
Merry Christmas. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, everybody.